There, we're live. Good old YouTube. Never fails to let us down. I am wearing today, in honour of this event, my annual Mordor Fun Run t-shirt. One does not simply walk, which I thought was quite fitting.
I'm wearing an Iron Maiden hoodie.
Not quite as thematically appropriate, but I suppose it'll do.
Well, it's got Eddie on the back somewhere, and he's, you know, sort of zombie-ish, so it's kind of fancy.
Yeah. I'm not sure there are any zombies in Tolkien's world per se, but there we go. Hello everybody, or anybody, if there's anybody watching yet, because I need more monitors. Apparently, I've got too much stuff open. So we're going to be playing some the Lord of the Rings Journeys in Middle-earth, which is a fantasy flight desktop adventure game that's been out for a few years now. It's got a couple of expansions, and I am here with James, our lead designer, and we're going to be, well, at least attempting to play through the first scenario. And you haven't played this before, have you, James?
Nope, not yet.
Not yet. It's not terribly difficult. It's mostly about moving around the board and doing skill checks by drawing cards. There are some little cheat sheets on either side of the table, the little quick reference guides, and they'll basically talk you through the round structure, but I'll do that anyway. This game does have an accompanying app, and if I've managed to set OBS up right, whenever I click on the app, it switches to it automatically. Fantastic. Gotta love technology when it works. So this allows us to see the app, and the app basically controls map tile placement, enemy placement, and the events. The app's a little bit dumb in some ways because it doesn't receive information from the player like where your characters are, so you can completely lie to the app and tell it you've just teleported across the map. It doesn't care. So it's a really good app if you want to do house rules or you want to just cheat a little bit because you're struggling. So on the other hand, it's a bad app because sometimes you make a mistake and the app doesn't tell you you've made a mistake, it just lets you carry on. So I think we should play on adventure mode, as James hasn't played before. Adventure mode does make it a little bit easy, but normal mode makes it a little bit difficult. Unfortunately, they haven't put an in-between difficulty in, which they really should have. So the first thing that we need to do is choose characters. This is a game for up to 5 players. A single player will normally take 2 characters because you need a minimum of 2. So we could take 1 each, or we could take more if we wanted to. It doesn't really make the game any quicker, because obviously more characters means you've got more moves to take, but the Doomsday counter goes down quicker, so the overall number of turns is about the same.
It'll do 2.
Yeah, so you've got quite a unique thing that you can do here where, which I guess it's not that unique in terms of like Dungeons and Dragons. So you've got all of your characters, and then if you notice to the right of the character, you've got these little decks that, so you've got like Guardian, Hunter, Captain, Meddler, Soldier. Those are basically roll decks. So like classes, really. You can mix and match the classes. You don't have to play the recommended ones, but the recommended ones are all next to the characters that are supposed to have them. So we can take a good mix of them. So Gimli's a Guardian. He's basically quite a good fighter. He's a bit of a meat shield, but he's not great at skill tests. Legolas is a hunter. He's really good at damage. He's got ranged attacks. He's not too bad at skill tests either. He's also probably one of the most...
That's not Legolas. I've seen Legolas. He looks like Orlando Bloom.
I know. Unfortunately, Fantasy Flight have the license to the characters, but not the license to the likenesses from the movies. It's the same with their Game of Thrones game. They don't look anything like the characters from the TV series, so unfortunately that's something that you'll just have to get used to. Aragorn's a captain. He's pretty much good at helping the team draw extra cards, which is useful. Gandalf is really good at winning skill checks because he kind of manipulates his deck and cheats at the cards he draws.
And not letting anything pass, he's good at that as well.
Yeah. Unless it's a Balrog, and we do have a Balrog, so, you know, think things could get interesting. It's not going to pop up in the first scenario. I do love that they've actually scanned in all of the miniatures from the game. They've done a really good job with it, which is now making me feel I really need to get my finger out and finish painting mine.
I mean, I'd have painted them before I scanned them in, but
well, yeah, I'm knocking all of these bags and stuff over now, so we won't need any of those. We'll just ignore them. So I think Aragorn and Legolas tend to be a good combination to run with. But if you've got any preferences to who you'd like to pick, we can go ahead and do that.
Are we doing 2 or 4?
We'd probably just do 2.
We'll
And
do
then
2.
once you get to grips with the game, then if we want to scale it up, we can do that.
Okie dokie.
I think the app just
I
makes
guess I'll have Legolas. I like shooting things.
the app just makes it more difficult to work out what you're doing. So if you take your character card and put it down onto one of the player dashboards there, I will. I'm going to change my colour to red, so I'm on this side there. Not that it really matters a huge amount. So what you need to do to make up your deck, I will go ahead and take Aragorn because I think he works quite well here. So there is a deck of 11 cards to the left of where your hero was. You want to grab that and put it in your spell deck slot. So that contains the 6 basic cards that every hero has. They're generic, and it also contains the 5 cards for your character. And then to the right of where your character was, you've got the your roll cards. You just want to take the top 3 from your deck for now, and if you look at them, one of them, they're all named at the bottom, so you'll have Hunter 1, Hunter 2, and Hunter...
Should we have shuffled them first? Or...
No, I don't need to do that just yet. But if you grab the first card which is your resourceful one, and put that in one of your 4 prepared skill slots.
I am prepared to be resourceful.
And then put the other 2 on top of the deck that you've got down facing, and then grab one of these weakness cards. They don't do anything mechanically. It's a useless card that basically just pads your deck. And
mine is unfortunately ironically appropriate. As my friends will tell you, I am always late.
Mine is lazy. But yeah, it doesn't matter which one you get because they're all functionally the same. So put that on the deck, and then you can flip. You can shuffle the deck then. I'll shuffle the damage cards, I'll shuffle the fear cards. I think they're the only decks where you draw from. So I'm just going to set up in the app and tell it that we have Aragorn and Legolas, because it does need to know what characters we're using. Okay, and now you just need to collect your equipment cards from these stacks over on the right hand side of the board. So you want a cloak from the armor deck, and you also want the great bow from the hand deck. So you might just have to search for them. Sometimes there are multiple items with the same name and different numbers, but that's fine as long as the name matches. So because you're using a 2-handed item, you just get 1. Aragorn's got 2 one-handed items.
My great blow is blank.
What do you mean it's blank?
Is this card here blank on your screen?
No, I can see it.
Blank on my screen. That is helpful.
That's really weird. Well, what are you supposed to do with that? Is there any way for you to refresh it?
I don't know. I mean, if in the actual, if I right-click search, it's got the correct image.
Okay.
If I drag it out, it doesn't.
What if I
Bug!
clone it?
Nope, it's blank.
Oh dear. Okay, well there's not a lot of information on the card, so I can basically tell you what it is. Can you see all the other ones?
Nope. I mean, the cloak's fine. Oh, I can see the cavalry bow.
Just the...
That just disappeared.
Oh, it's still there. The cavalry bow's still there. I see it.
Oh, the other one. There was something else in there I took out, and it was a short bow, and it completely disappeared.
That's weird.
It's my old QA skills. I was good at breaking games.
Yeah, just finding the bugs. I've played through this tabletop simulator version a handful of times, and they've worked absolutely fine.
Okay, I hope nobody wants the short bow because I've lost it.
Okay,
Oh,
well, that's fine.
Not good.
So you've got the cloak, right?
Got a cloak, but I can't shoot anything.
So put the cloak in that goes in your armor slot, and then you've got the great bow, which apparently is blank.
It's yep, I have a blank card.
Right. So all you need to know about the great bow is it's an agility-based weapon and it's a ranged weapon. And the important bits that you can't see is 1 success is 2 hits and 2 successes are 5 hits. But I'll remind you of that if we have to attack anything. So we've all got our equipment cards, even though yours is blank. I mean, Legolas should know how a bow works, right?
Yeah, it's a fairly simple point and shoot interface.
Right. Yeah. We'll call the team Dream Harvest because I've got no creativity and I can't think of anything else.
Yeah, okay.
The shadows grow.
So it's doing a bit of it's reading the narrative out, but I'm not going to do that because it's already narrated. So let's go into a shadow in Eredor. So the theft of the Mat Home house is the talk of the Shire. For seldom do Shire folk play a role in the larger world, and so these events seem small as a hobbit. But one small fellowship has gathered together to seek out these brigands. So we're doing the South Downs, which is the first bit of the map. Select
South
roles.
Downs?
South Downs. I'm a captain, you're a hunter.
You can tell he's based it on England, can't you? Because the South Downs is just like south of...
Yeah, I mean, obviously the dwarves are Scottish, and like the hobbits are all from like Cornwall and Devon, and yeah.
What's he saying about Scottish people?
Oh well, there you go. They're all miners apparently. Somewhere amid this maze of dark thickets and steep gullies, the band of thieves now hides. Your direction is informed by a set of tracks from 2 days ago, and you can only guess the location of the thieves' lair. Now this is where it's going to start spitting tile numbers at me and telling me to put them down on the map. They've done a really good job of allowing you to just pull these tiles out like this.
Yeah.
But what they've made a grid, which is really nice. What they've screwed up on is they've rotated the grid by 30 degrees. So the things don't quite match up with the app. So I have to turn everything around in the app I have to rotate the app if I want things to look right. So I think that matches up with the app's rotation now. There we go. So we put that tile down. Our characters start in one of these spaces. So you do have there's Legolas there. Here's Aragorn. So you're the one with the bow, right? In case it gets confusing. It's not a bad model actually. It's one of the few that I have actually painted, the Legolas one. And you start on the same tile that I am. So each map tile is broken into sections. So this map tile is actually 3 different sections. That the grey lines are what split it up. I missed that instruction there. I think it says each hero scouts 2. So we should probably do that first. So from your face down deck, your skill deck, you want to take the top 2 cards, flip them both over, and then you have the option to...
Ding.
So you have the option to prepare one of these cards, which means it's a skill that you can use during the round. And then the remaining card you can either put on the bottom of your deck or the top of your deck. And the reason you want to manipulate the deck is when you have skill tests, you're trying to draw successes, which is the icon that's on this card, the little golden starburst. So that's a success icon. These little leaf icons, they are fate, and you can turn them into successes if you've got any of the inspiration tokens to spend. So you can spend tokens to change fate into a success. So if you've got a card that doesn't have any fate or successes on it, maybe you want to prepare that skill or stick it on the bottom. If you've got a card that's got a success on it, maybe you want to put that one on the top of the deck so you get a guaranteed success on a skill check. So that's basically the mechanic, the way it works. But unfortunately, the cards that have got the successes on them are usually the ones that have got some of the best abilities on them. So you're sort of playing that game of, well, do I want to put that card back in the deck, or do I want to ready it up? So I'm going to prepare that one and put this one on the top of the deck.
I have no idea which of these is most useful.
So Tireless is quite a nice card to prepare for Legolas, because basically it means that at the end of your turn you can discard that card and you can perform any action that you've not already performed. So if you've done a move action and an interaction with a token, you could do a combat action for free. Or if you do 2 move actions, because you can do the same action twice in a round, if you do 2 move actions, you can then spend that card to do an interaction with a character on the map or something like that. So I personally would ready up Tireless, and then Time of Need you could either put on the top or the bottom of the deck.
Yeah.
Because we're playing on adventure mode, we will get quite a lot of inspiration tokens, so you should easily be able to turn those into successes if you need to.
Just thinking how long it'll take to get inspiration tokens.
Not very long at all. We get one at the start of every round because we're playing on adventure mode.
I shall top deck it then. Ding.
The most inspiration tokens you can hold is based on that little number on your card. So your max is 5, mine is only 4. But there are various
I'm more inspiring than you.
Yes, and you're also more agile, but you know, there we go. Not as strong. So yeah, that's that ready. I didn't see if it told us to take an inspiration token. I know it should have done. We need to put a search token in this space, which is, so we start off in a space with a token, and then there'll be a few more. Oh, there's a threat token already. That's some rubbish right there. I don't like that. We've got another tile to place. Yeah, we did start a little bit behind because we were having some trouble getting Tabletop Simulator to cooperate with us. So we were a little bit. We was hoping to sort of get all of this setup done in advance. Why isn't this card? No, because this one's not oriented itself on the map properly. There we go. Now you have some days when you have everything planned out and you know it's all going to work, and then it just doesn't, right?
I like to call those Mondays.
Yeah, all of the days ending with Y. So that's a person token, which means that there's somebody there that we can interact with. So all of the map tiles, it's actually using them from the expansions as well. But I do like that every game is different.
I like those little hexes. All the best games have hexes.
All the best games have hexes. I wonder if someone's ever going to mix it up and go to like septagons or something.
You could try doing like a soccer ball.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Work as an interesting.
So these square tokens that I'm placing right now, these green ones, whenever a character moves into one of these tiles, what will happen is the token gets flipped over, and you basically the exploration tile becomes an inspiration token. So that's another way you can gain inspiration. So there are 3 actions that you can. So every turn you can take 2 actions. So you can move, you can interact, you can enter into combat. You can do the same action twice, but a movement lets you move 2 spaces, but you are allowed to interrupt it. So you could move 1 space, perform your second action, and then move the second space, if that makes sense. So you otherwise you'd never get around the map. So I think that's all of everything set up, and the app's now saying here, pausing to tighten your boots and adjust the weight of your gear, you take a breath before continuing on. Each hero tests, which skill is that? Spirit. Each hero tests Spirit, and each hero who passes gains 1 inspiration. So we only need 1 success. So draw as many cards as your Spirit says on your hero card. So your Spirit's 2, same as mine. So we draw 2 cards and flip them over. So I've got a success. You unfortunately don't have any successes, so I do gain an inspiration token. And then your discarded cards you just put on the discard pile. So that was a bit unfortunate, but a few turns in you're going to be throwing inspiration away because you'll be capped, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. Right, objective updated, confront the thieves. So what we need to basically do is interact with things on the map, so the search tokens, the threat tokens, and the people tokens. Players can go in in any order, and you can change the order that you go in between turns. So I don't know who wants to go first. Do you want me to go first, or do you want to take the first move and I'll guide you, or?
I'll let you go first.
Okay, so we're on a space with a search token, so I'm going to go ahead and interact with that token. The body of a lost traveller has lain here for some time, forgotten and unmourned. Stained bandages hand slack around their weathered form, and they clutch a journal to their chest. Perhaps it contains some knowledge of who this person was and how they came to perish here alone. So I can, at this point, I can cancel and walk away, and it doesn't count as an action. So this is just a little bit like what we do in Dicebound, right? You can examine something for free and then decide whether or not you want to interact with it. So I'm going to read the journal. And now it says, this lost soul was on what they described as a great quest with 2 faithful companions. Beset by foes and plagued with misfortune, their fellowship faltered and they were separated far from home. Wounded and doomed, this would-be hero's last recorded thought was for the safety of their absent comrades. So I get to test Spirit again, and I've got to get 2 successes to pass this. This doesn't seem good. There's 1 success. Right, well I can spend that inspiration token, so that does become a pass, thankfully. So you kneel in respect of the fallen, swearing to them and your own comrades to hold true to the ties that bind you. You will see your task completed, and you will see your friends safely home again. Each hero becomes determined. Discard this search token. That is actually nice. So determined is to the right of the board. So I'm just trying to tidy up the board because you end up with like enough tokens to choke a horse. So you've got these cards here, so hopefully you can see the face of it.
Yep.
So that's the determined card. So this is a boon, and basically what it means is it's a mulligan, right? So if you there isn't a space on the thing for this, I just put it in the hand slot. So basically when you have to do a test for something, you can discard X number of cards and redraw X number of cards. Basically what it means. So that's one of my actions done, and with my second action I can move, so I'm going to move into the tile with the threat token, and there's not really much else that I can do because I can't interact with it or anything. So now it's your turn.
Okay, should I come and join you, and like we can take out that threat and I can stick pointy things in it?
Yes, so you can use your movement to move into that tile.
Ching!
So that's your first action, and then I'm assuming you probably want to interact with that tile, right?
The threat.
The threat tile. Yeah. I was trying to remember. You do have a hero ability. So yours is once per round during your turn, you may spend an inspiration to move 1 space, and it doesn't provoke enemy attacks as well. But again, you don't have any inspiration yet, which is weird. But let's look at what this threat token is. Crabane dark birds known to be employed as spies swoop down and caw in the skies above. So, let's interact. The birds descend suddenly, swarming around you in a rush of feathers and deafening cries. Now this is a blind test, but we're testing agility. So your agility's 4, so you are almost certainly the best person for this. So you need to draw 4 cards and then count up your successes.
Hey.
There's 1.
Oh.
2.
Hey.
3. That's
hey.
good. 3 successes. So I'm going to put 3 into the app and see what it says. Look, it looks like it's a pass. You drive away the Crabane away until they are scattered and forced to retreat. Discard the threat token. Okay. Well, that's good. At least it wasn't like a bunch of goblins or something. Now,
I mean, it could have like caught a couple for me supper.
yeah.
You know.
Well, I mean, you don't know how your bow works,
Maris-
right? Because you don't have any text on it.
This is true.
What you could do now, because you have only moved 1 space, is you could move another space, so you could start heading back towards the other tiles.
Yeah, might as well. Come
Because
over
it is
here.
one of those games with a doomsday counter where it kind of like forces you to like get on with stuff. Okay, so I guess that's on to the next turn, right? We've both done all that we can, so I hit the next turn button. The shadow phase. So your fellowship is prepared to face the shadow. Each hero gains 1 inspiration. You can actually spawn them on your hero board. There's a little button there, which is nice. The little yellow trinket bag is for if you get any trinkets. It's basically the depletion tokens, that number of uses. So each hero gains 1 inspiration. The shadows deepen through though hope yet endures. Threat increases by 4. So each turn the threat increases by 2 per hero. And then normally it would increase by 1 per threat token and 1 per unexplored tile, but it doesn't do the unexplored tiles on adventure mode. So it's a little bit cheesy. What we do now is reset and reshuffle our decks.
Okie
Give them a good shuffle up. Now, normally, this is the rally phase. Normally we'd scout 2, but my ability is that me and nearby heroes, so nearby is anyone in the same tile or an adjacent tile, so you are, I think, yeah. So you get to scout an extra 1, so you scout 3 cards. Looks like I've got some good ones.
Oh, I'm late again.
Well, it's interesting when you get that your weakness card, because you could always prepare it and then you know that you're not going to draw it in a skill test, or you could stick it on the bottom, I suppose, is the other option. I am going to... There's no quick shortcut in Tabletop Simulator to put a card on the bottom of a deck, is there? You kind of have to put the deck on the card.
I don't think so, no.
That's a little bit of a pain.
So I'm preparing one of these.
Yeah, you prepare. I mean, you can prepare late if you want to, and then put the other 2 back in the deck. So you can only have 4 prepared cards, but you can always discard 1 to make room if they're full.
Yeah, let's do that. That makes sense.
Yeah. I also think that the rules state that you may prepare a card, so you don't technically have to prepare one. You could stick them all back in the deck if you wanted to.
I do always enjoy a good may in a rule.
And I also like that when you put cards back on the deck, you can put them on the top or the bottom in whatever order you want and split them up. So you've got a lot of room to do stuff there. Okay, so we've done our scouts. So now it's the next action phase. So who's going in first? Are you going to move on, or shall I?
Shall I go and have a chat with this human here?
Yeah, go and see what he's
I
up
shall
to.
pop over here and have a chat with this human.
So you're going to interact with him. Oh wow, okay. So you note the garb mimics that of the Brelanders, but their accents are varied. These are not merely local riffraff. You pause and consider what is your best approach. So the app's actually giving us some some options here. So you can either say, well met friends, step away from the tomb or else, or sneak up and eavesdrop. Those are the options.
I will sneak up and eavesdrop.
Well, you've got the agility, so maybe that works well for you. So sneak up and eavesdrop.
I am a sneaky bugger.
It's no pointy ear bowtwanger. Like really, yeah. Slinking behind a tree, you attempt to get close enough to overhear the group's conversation. Test agility. It's another blind test, but at least it's agility.
I'm taking 4 of these cards, yeah?
Yeah.
Flip. Bing, 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 bing.
Oh. Well,
mildly annoying. I mean, I've got one inspiration
token. You are determined, so you could discard your determined card and then you could redraw all 4 of your cards if you wanted to. You've got that option, because I don't think one success is going to pass.
Yeah. So if I so they go on the discard pile.
Right. Yeah, so you may discard this boon to discard any number of cards from the test and reveal that many additional cards.
Okie dokie.
Let's hope these are not any worse than what you just had. Okay, 2 successes. You could make that 3.
Yeah, might as well. I'll go 3.
Right.
Ding.
So I'm going to tell it 3.
Better make sure there are actually tomb robbers before I, shoot them in the back with my arrow.
So the ruffians are tense, but you overhear them discuss plans to loot 3 other ruins in the area before returning to their lair. Suddenly a crow shrieks and a bandit hisses. Quiet, we have guests. You hear blades drawn and footsteps growing closer. Become hidden. Then the person token is discarded. I did find out, by the way, when you place things down on the tiles and they get in the wrong order, like tokens end up under the tile, if you click on the tile and hit U for under, it throws it to the bottom.
Ah.
So that does fix that problem. So you become hidden now. You've got this, there's a hidden card, which is another boon. You're getting all the boons. So basically it's a way to deflect some damage if you get attacked. And again, I just usually stick it in the drawer, in the hand area. Okay. And we hit continue. Oh dear, your enemy shows no signs of mercy, nor any inclination that they will accept the same in return. With malice in their eyes, they raise their weapons, ready to defend what they have stolen. Place 2 ruffians as indicated. Well, don't like the sound. What's a ruffian? They're ruffians. And they have to go in... Oh, yep, it's the tile you're on. What a surprise.
They don't look like much.
Right. Now...
That. I mean, that guy's facing the wrong way. What chance has he got?
Objective updated. Defeat the ruffians. Now, you have taken 2 actions because you have moved and you have interacted with the token. But you do have your once per round during your turn. You may... Oh, you don't have an inspiration, do you?
No.
So you can't take another action. Well, that's not great. Looks like I'm going to have to come in and help then. Okay, so I can actually just get there by moving 1, 2, doing it that way. Now, I don't hit as hard as you do. So I have a sword, and can you see my sword, by the way? I know you said you can't see the great bow. Can you see what's on the sword? It's on my
this one.
This one here.
No, that's this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one's blank. The banner.
Oh, the banner's blank.
Yeah, I can't see the banner.
But the sword.
I can see the sword. I can't see the banner.
Maybe we need to refresh your cache somewhere. But this. So basically, my sword works the same way that your great bow does. So 1 success equals 2 hits or 2 damage, basically, and 2 successes equals 5 hits. You can only use the text on each card once, but they are cumulative. So if I have 3 successes, I can do 2 hits and 5 hits and get 7 hits, basically. So it's might because the red little horn in the top left-hand corner. So I get to test my might, which is only 3, because Aragorn's not very mighty, apparently. So we're going to attack Flippity, flippity, flip. And I've got one success there. Is there anything here that I can use that might be useful? No, I've got one that is good if I don't reveal any successes, but I don't. I'm at least...
You're attacking with the gift of men. So, interesting thing to attack with.
Yeah.
Not entirely
Yeah.
sure
Well,
what the game means by that, but
when cards are used in a skill check, you completely ignore the text anyway. It's irrelevant at that
but
point.
I like the idea of attacking with clever wit.
Yeah,
It
just
feels very kind of Blackadder-ish.
take them out with a sick burn. That's
Yeah.
the only way to do it. So I'm going to spend my inspiration. So I've got 2 successes, which means I hit for 5. So what I do now is I go into the app and I say I'm attacking and I'm doing 5 damage. I don't have any... There are modifiers you can get, like Pierce, Smite, Lethal, Sunder, Stun and Cleave, which we don't have any of on our weapon.
I would hope you'd at least take the head off of one of them with 5
Well,
hits.
yeah, they have 5. They have 5 health each, so one of them is dead. So I get to remove 1 ruffian. There you go. And
then the other one's like, "No, my friend, you've killed him."
unfortunately, the enemy gets to counter attack me, which is unfortunate. So can the enemy attack? Yes. So it's only 1 damage, but I can do a test to see if by wit, and wit negates it. Let's get rid of all of these cards. So I get to draw 3 cards. It's only 1 damage, so all I need is 1 success, and yeah, there we go. So I negate any damage. Nice.
Good use of lazy.
Yes.
I shall attack you with my laziness.
So basically, each success you get on the mitigation phase allows you to ignore 1 damage or fear, which is basically sanity, right? So that was both of my moves, and you've done both of your moves. I don't think there's any cards that I can do anything with, so end the turn. So shadow phase. The enemy probably will attack. Each hero gains 1 inspiration. So grab yourself an inspiration token. Your pursuit has been too slow. The last of the bandits escaped, disappearing from sight. Remove the ruffian enemy group from the map. Oh, well, you don't even get to fight him.
Does that mean he takes all his lovely little loot with him?
I
want to kill him and nick his loot.
I would assume so. He's kind of good off.
Maybe he's left something in the tomb and I can nick it.
Oh, well. Sudden movement draws your eye, and to your surprise, a goblin breaks cover and sprints away, disappearing into a wall of brambles. You follow with haste and find, beyond the thicket, a wide valley dotted with a few ruins, but no sign of the creature. Lore increases by 1. And I was hoping it was going to get me to place a goblin on the map there, but it just went, no. You're not good enough to be killing stuff, so... It does want me to put a new tile on the map, though.
Oh.
If I can get it in the right place, which is there. Oh, 2 new tiles on the map. What's this one? This one's got some weird ruins on it. How does this one fit in? Like that, I think. Oh wow, this is getting crazy. It's just giving me map tile after map tile here.
Interesting ruin. It kind of looks like a folly.
They are a little bit weird when you have to rotate the tiles as well, because then the obviously perspective is all off on everything. What has drawn such a creature here, far beyond the reach of any orc stronghold? Its armour bore resemblance to that of Mount Graham, but far from the north does that mountain stand. A dark alliance has been formed indeed for such a creature to be summoned here. You must find tracks leading to the enemy's lair to continue. Searching the surrounding area will yield the clues and the tracks you need. Tracks needed 3. Objective updated. Find clues to locate the hidden lair. Tracks needed 3. Threat increases by 4. So the threat's currently at 8. If it gets to 64, the scenario's over. But there are nasty things that trigger at like 15 and 25 and some other stuff. Each hero resets their deck and scouts 2. Or in our case 3, because we are still in the same slot. I really struggle picking entire decks up on Tabletop Simulator. I should play it in VR. I think it would be less fiddly. Which is saying something, isn't it? That is what is known as a handful of rubbish. That is absolutely trash. But at least I can probably safely stick most of it on the bottom. Okay. Might need to start discarding some of these things. I've got a good little synergy here now. I've got a card that before I test, I can discard this to test Wisdom instead, which is my strongest stat. And then I've got another card that means when I test Wisdom, I can discard that card to instantly add a success. So that's nice. Using cards, by the way, doesn't constitute an action. So even if the card says something like it lets you attack an enemy or lets you move, then it's a free action because you're using the card, not one of your action points. Looks like you've got your cards set up. So it's the action phase again. So I guess we've got to start exploring some of these... I
suppose we should head to these ruins. They seem like they might be vaguely important.
Yeah, maybe. We probably should hit every tile as we go because we want to grab these exploration tokens and explore every tile on the map. And they probably will help to show us where the things we need to find are on the map. So, did you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
Oh, you can go first this time.
Okay, so I'm going to move.
It didn't go well for me last time when I went first.
I'm going to move into here, which means that I interact with that exploration token that's in the tile. An unyielding archway marks an unimportant passage. Discard the exploration token and gain 1 inspiration. So I get to put that on my thing. I don't want to just take all the inspiration tokens from you. That's the only thing. Let me hit continue there. A short stretch of water here tumbles through the rapids and over a waterfall. Several children are playing in the water. Place a token here as indicated.
Oh, that's dangerous. That is. Kids playing in water unattended. They could drown.
There isn't a kids token. Well, there's Hobbit Child. It's the same token. On the wayside, you spot a secluded area where a hero might find rest. So that's a search token, and it's where I am. Okay, and my journey continues. I'm going to interact with the search token because I don't want to move into this tile and nick the exploration when you could grab that one. So let's interact with that search token and see what it is. You pass into the area to find yourself safe from the world's threats around you. Test spirit, need 1 success. My spirit's only 2, but... didn't get any successes. However, I've got... well, I did have time of need. Oh, I don't need to convert all inspiration. We'll just... what's the test? I only need 1. So I'll spend 1... inspiration, which is all I have, and pass the test. Slipping out of sight, you rest for a time, unloading your burdens of both body and soul. Gain 1 inspiration, that's handy, and discard 1 fear or damage, then discard the search token. So I get the inspiration back. So it's a net. What is it if it's neither a gain nor a loss? A net waste of time.
Pyrrhic victory.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, don't get me started on Pyrrhic victories. Right, there we go. So now it is your turn.
Okay, I will pop over here and grab the green thing.
Okay, let me just interact with that on the map. Oh, I should have also moved my character into the next tile. So I should have done that when my turn ended, but I'll do that anyway. So you've got the inspiration token. That's fine. An ancient oak presides over this stretch of hill land. A rocky slope conceals a bear den. Your journey continues. Didn't tell me to put anything on the map, interestingly. So you could just move to the next tile, or
Finish my move here.
yeah, and then you can you automatically interact with those tokens when you move into a new space anyway. So you get that token. A gentle hill rises above you, sloping up to a single high perch built in an old oak. A bandit gang might make use of such a lookout perch, but so might anyone hunting bandits. Discard the exploration token and gain an inspiration. You've already done that. A small brown bird hops about, chirping incessantly. Place a search token as indicated. Just... where are you at there? High in a tree, you see a shoddy platform crafted from old lumber. The vantage point might make it easier to spot signs of thieves. Place another search token there. Journey continues. So that... You haven't taken any other action other than movement, have you? You just moved twice.
I moved to there, then I moved to there.
Yeah, so you've still got an action.
So I can do this searching jig.
Yeah, so this is the small brown bird.
Searching jig. Aha!
As you approach the bird,
in my belly.
As you approach the bird, it pauses in its movements and cocks its head in your direction. Test. Oh wow, this is a... What have you got to test on this one? Spirit. And you need 2 successes to pass this test.
I think I'm going to be okay.
Yeah? You got a big stack of inspiration. Remember, you
I top deck 2 cards that have
you already know their
inspiration on, so I think I'll be alright.
Yeah, so you only need two passes.
There we go.
One thing I will say, it's almost always worth spending 1 inspiration if you can kill an enemy group, because killing an enemy group nearly always gives you 1 inspiration back. So you pass the test. The bird flutters to your shoulder and speaks to you. Well, that's a bit weird, isn't it? I bring a warning, the bird chirps. Servants of the enemy are everywhere. Oh, become hidden and then discard the search token. Well, you're already hidden, so that doesn't really happen.
That was not useful.
Oh, so this app sometimes. This app. But it doesn't know that you haven't used that token, that card yet. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it now. We've both kind of moved. So so we'll end the action phase. New shadow phase. Each hero gains an inspiration token. Threat increases by 4, so now we're up to 12. So at the end of the next one, we're going to end up with probably enemies spawning. Each hero resets their deck and scouts 2, and for you that is going to be 2 because you're no longer nearby. You're in front of me, so you only get 2 cards, sadly.
Oh.
If it makes you feel any better, all of mine are terrible.
That does make me feel better.
I don't need well provisioned. Let's get rid of...
Oh.
I remember how this game
come
works.
in handy.
Let's prepare that. Goes on the top. I remember how to play this game. I don't remember how to play it well.
That. There we go.
You finished manipulating your deck off screen. Excellent.
Yep. I'm done.
So, next action phase. Should I interact with this token and try and catch up with you?
You could, yeah, I mean, you could have a chat with those kids and see if they know anything interesting. I mean, they're kids, they're mostly idiots.
So these are the stupid kids playing near water, right? Let's interact.
Yep.
You are concerned for the safety of the children, but when you approach, they all produce hidden weapons. Classic. Sounds a lot like the UK.
Oh, bunch of bloody chaps.
So, test wit, and I need 2 successes. Now, I could use some of my cards to do this. So, I'll use Throngil, which means I can test my wisdom instead. So now I can draw 4. And you watch them all be successes, and then they weren't needed. 3 successes,
Ooh.
look at that. So it is a pass. What does it say here? Convincing the children that you mean no harm, you compliment them on their quick reflexes. They in turn invite you to ride the rapids with them. Now I've got 2 options here. Sounds like fun and maybe another time.
I mean, it definitely sounds like these kids need supervision, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, where are their parents? They're hanging around, unsupervised, not just by a river, but planning to ride rapids. I mean, they're going to end up drowned in the bottom of some lake somewhere, and their parents are going to be like, where are my kids? What happened to my kids? I had all these little kids, and they ran off, and I haven't seen them. And they're just being eaten by the fish.
This is the bit where we find out that they're all hobbits in their 50s. Sounds like fun. The children give you a small barrel to ride down the river, and it's very difficult for you to keep the rickety thing afloat. However, you make it over a small waterfall safely and clamber out of the river to a happy cheering. Flip 1 damage card face up, then gain 2 inspiration tokens and discard this person token. Oh, okay.
Now, did you see any of the kids actually go down this river before? Because it seems like they just tricked you for their own entertainment. They're like, we can get this idiot to get his barrel and go down these rapids. We'll have a laugh at him.
So, right. So, I completely missed as well when I had a rest action earlier that I've got the banner that gives me and a nearby hero an inspiration, and I forgot to grab it, but never mind. Sometimes you do forget things like that. So I get to take a face-up damage. Great stuff. And this is weariness. Flip this card face down, which is fantastic, because basically it means that it doesn't affect me negatively unless I get too many of them. Then it becomes a problem. But I can take 5 damage. More than that, I'm in trouble. So that's my first action. Now let's move. So I can't easily catch up with you, but I can get in the same space, so I can go 1, 2, and that's the end of my turn.
I guess I'll move here and do the search magic here then.
Okay, so what was this one? This was the shoddy platform high in a tree. So you're going to climb it, which I assume is probably good for your agility test. What are you doing with my map tiles? Just hit U. You should put it underneath everything. There we go.
There we go.
You leap for the first branch to begin your ascent. Test agility. Another blind test.
Okay. One of them. One of them. One of them.
It's always nice when Legolas gets agility tests.
Ding, 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 ding.
Oh.
I have 1 inspiration token. Yep.
Yeah,
just
the
one inspiration token.
Are you spending that? Are you?
Yeah. Better go for 2.
Okay. So
I don't want to fall out of this tree.
Let's say we've got 2 successes. You find yourself in a tangle. The very branches you hope to use instead impeding your advance. You retreat slightly, looking for a better path. Gain 1 inspiration.
Okay,
So
I'll just
I'll
put
put
that token back
yeah.
there.
So that token remains on the board. And you could continue your move, or you could just stay there and wait for the next turn. I assume you're probably going to do that.
Yeah, I might as well just wait for you to catch up.
Okay, we'll probably
come along, Slowpoke.
We'll probably get some enemies next, because the track's going to bump up to the first way marker. So we all gain a inspiration token.
Yay!
Much needed. The shadow deepens, threat increases by 4. From a nearby tree line, you hear the warble of an unfamiliar bird. Then, without further warning, arrows whistle through the air around you. Each hero tests agility. We need 2 successes. Each hero who fails suffers 2 face-down damage. My agility is terrible.
Ha! 3.
Apparently, for some reason, I have 6 inspiration that I didn't realise I had because they were all stacked one on top of each other in the... and I can't have 6 inspiration, so I'm going to get rid of those. They were all stacked under my hero card. So I'm going to... Why is there another one there? Is that yours?
No.
I'm going to spend 1 that gives me 2 successes, and you've got 3 successes, so we both pass on that, which is great.
Hey!
Alright, let's get rid of these. I do like that they've put these little portals at the top of the table for you to just trash everything in, little infinite bags of holding.
It'd be nice if there was one down here, so I have to go so far.
Unfortunately, we now have an Orc Marauder on this tile, which is not great. And it's only 1 bad guy, so that's not too bad.
So you have 2 hanging around over there.
Yeah, each hero resets their deck and scouts 2, but we can scout 3 because you are adjacent to me, so... Are any of these cards useful?
Ding, 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 ding.
Got that awful lazy card again. I might be attacking soon, so I'm going to prepare the card that allows me to get an automatic success if I have to play Might, because I've just got a feeling that's going to happen. Especially as I'm the one that's closest to the bad guys. So you do have a ranged weapon, not that you can tell because it's blank, but that allows you to attack somebody in an adjacent space.
Ah.
But for me, they've got to be in the same space with me. So we are going on to the action phase. Why is it telling me that this ruffian needs a banner? Is it because he's elite? It is. It's an elite ruffian. So it's not even easy to beat one. How much health does he have? So he's got 5 health and 2 armor. He's also terrifying, which means when this group attacks, its fear is increased. Ugh. I mean, only need if I attacked him and got 3 successes, I can kill him because I can do 7 damage.
I'm not too worried. He's not even facing our direction. Look, he's distracted by something over there. So you know, he's
there we
not
go.
something to worry about.
So yeah, sometimes when you put groups of enemies on the board, the app tells you to use these banners. So if you've got multiple enemy types the same, you can tell them apart on the app. That's all they represent. Who's going first on this one?
I might as well have another go at this search thing and see if I can climb up there as I'm Mr. Agility guy.
Right, let's click on it again. So you're going to try and climb it again. So again, you test agility, and it's a blind test. What did you get last time? Was it 2? So let's assume it's more than 2 needed.
Boom. Well, I know that one's a pass and that one's a thingy, so I will use both my inspiration to do. Oh no!
I'll just hit you.
2.
You on your hero. You've got another one under there.
Yeah.
There you
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll use both of those, and then.
So you've got 3
that gives me
successes.
3.
Right. So is that it? You haven't got anything else that lets you do anything that you want to use? I don't think so.
No, they all seem unrelated.
Okay, let's try it with 3. Pulling yourself onto the rickety structure, you gain an exceptional view of the area, gain 1 inspiration, and then discard the search token.
Wow.
It'll probably put some stuff on the map when I click the button. You cast your gaze deeper into the wild. Perhaps the remaining thieves and their allies from Mount Graham are hiding in those hills. Oh, would you look at that? It's put another map tile on the board.
Does it go in this hole here?
Actually, no, it doesn't. It goes when I get it rotated in the right orientation. Probably won't happen. Annoyingly, it goes right there.
Ah, that's not in the direction we're going.
No. And neither's the next tile that it's just told me to place after it. The worst thing about this game sometimes is that if you start off with the map in the wrong place, then you end up with it hanging off the edge of the table.
Ah.
So it's not too bad right now. Please let that be. Oh no, you're giving me another map tile. Of course you are. Wow.
I do like the general sort of procedural, reusable nature of the sort of dungeon crawl.
Yeah, it's really nice because every time you play this, I mean, I've played this first scenario, I don't know how many times, and the layout's never been the same twice. So it is good from that perspective. And because I've got the expansions, so the Tabletop Simulator version includes all the expansions. Because I've got the expansions, it uses the expansion cards. It's been a little bit tricky there, not letting me pick those up. Okay, so we've got loads more tiles to explore now. You compare information you have discovered with what you already know of the region. Seeing no obvious signs of the lair, you begin to summarise where the lair may be and continue on your hunt. Lore increased by 1, tracks needed 2, so we've got one of the objectives. Don't worry about the lore, it's just a currency that's used in the campaign to upgrade your weapons and equipment, so it doesn't really make any difference in the thing itself. So you've only taken 1 action, so you could potentially take another action. So you could move. You obviously can't attack because you're not in a space with something that you can attack. If you wanted to attack, I mean, it's backtracking a bit, but you could move into this tile here with your movement, and then you could use your hero ability to then take a shot at the Marauder.
Can let him catch up.
Yeah, I mean, he'll start moving towards us on the next round anyway. So are you just staying there, or are you moving forwards?
Well, I can either move forward and get that thing, I suppose. Move forward, get that thing.
Cool. Yeah, so you might as well explore them, because then it puts more stuff on the map. So you gain an inspiration token. A small pond surrounded by lush greeneries dotted with lily pads. Place a search token. Let's keep forgetting to click onto the app. So there's a search token in there. Dark birds cluster against the skies, calling out to one another in throaty noises as they swoop and dip through the air. Their intelligence and watchfulness has given them a reputation as spies. Are they watching you? Place a threat token as indicated. That's in the space with the ruins. Journey continues. Right, so you've already done an interaction, so you can't... Yep. Well, you could move 1 more space if you wanted to, but you probably just want to hang there anyway, don't you?
Yeah, there's no... Well, I mean, move over here and get that token, but otherwise...
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to start moving up.
I mean, it's better if you're going that way.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going that way, I might as well do that extra move and go that way. Saves me doing it later.
Yeah, okay, we'll do that. So we'll explore that. So you get the inspiration token. Looking down a muddy ridge, you notice what may be tracks on the shore. The way down, however, is steep and slippery and bears no clear path. Place another search token. I don't know why these are blue in the game, but in the actual board game they're grey like they are on the app. It's a bit weird. Journey continues. So I've got to do my movement now. I could go and attack the guy, but I'm just going to run away from him. So I'll move into this tile here and uncover this one. So again, I gain that inspiration token. I think that Tabletop Simulator is absolutely brilliant, but I'm just so clunky with it that it feels like it takes me forever to do anything. My journey continues. I don't even reveal anything. Now, I'm going to move into the next tile. Unfortunately, what that's going to do is kind of waste an inspiration token, but we need to crack on. That's the problem. So that one's basically going in the trash. I can't use it. I'm capped. We wouldn't have this problem if we were playing on the harder difficulty level. A thicket sits quiet and still. Its shifting shadows, possibly concealing tracks within. Place a search token as indicated, which is luckily in the tiles that I'm standing in. So, Dark Birds cluster. It's exactly the same narrative that you just had for the Dark Birds. So there's a threat token here. So I think I've only moved, haven't I? So I've still got my... I can interact with that token. So this is the thicket sits quiet and still. So let's search it. Peering into the dark depths of the thicket, you find your eyes locked with another's. An orc's eyes, dark pits of contempt and hatred, gaze out at you. You have found an ally of the thieves. And this wants me to do a blind test on wisdom, which is good because it's my primary stat. So I get to draw 4. And we have 2 successes, and I'm going to spend 2 inspiration and make sure I have 4 successes for this one. You step into the thicket and the orc inside stumbles back, caught in a tangle of branches. With a flash of steel, it lashes out and then breaks away, leaving a hint as to the direction of the lair. It has dropped its knife, however, and you pick it up for inspection. The dark, brittle metal is a cheap craft of Mount Graham. Why and how these creatures so far from their vile and distant home? Law is increased by 1, then discard the search token. Okay. More stuff's happening on the app. So, search token. There's lots of tokens here that end up getting incinerated. And I've just
Hopefully you won't need them later.
Yeah, luckily whoever set this tabletop simulator thing up has done a really great thing where they've made most of the tokens infinite spawn. With the clues gathered and the enemies you have faced, you begin to fear that this is no lair of exiles and lowlives. What you are closing in on is a stronghold of the enemy, fledgling though it may be. Your fears unfortunately have proved true. A darker purpose and master is being served here. So the law increases by 1 and now we only need 1 track. That's the end of my ability to do anything, I think. And you've done yours as well, haven't you? Okay, so back into the app and we'll end the turn. And the action phase, shadow phase. So each hero gains 1 inspiration. This is why it's easy mode. Are you capped yet? Not quite.
Nope. I feel so inspired.
So, what the app says for movement, Orc Marauder. So, when an enemy gets the opportunity to move, it tells you how far to move them and who to move them towards and to attack. So, he's not a ranged hero. It says move 1 and attack Aragorn. Well, he can't attack me if he moves 1. It says all closest hero. Well, I am the closest hero. So he's got no target. He can't attack either of us. So it says howling, a fierce war cry. The orc marches towards you. Move the orc 2 spaces towards the closest hero. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You're 5 away. I'm 3 away. So he's moving 2 spaces towards me. I think I might have to fight this guy. Threat now increases by 6 as well because we've got 2 threat markers on the map, which are these red ones, so we need to try and get them done as quick as possible. And each hero resets their deck and scouts 2, and again, unfortunately, you're not close enough to me to get the benefit of my ability. Sorry about that.
That's okay. I mean, I ran away so that you'd have to deal with the orc, so it's fair enough.
I had a feeling it might be something along those lines. Well, I'm going to put those 2 successes on the top of my deck. I'm not even preparing a card. I'll just keep the successes on the top. Thank you. I know that I can kill that orc now. I'll have to move into his space to do it, unfortunately, but
I'll let you do it then.
so I'll do continue. Am I going first, or
I'll
are
have
you?
my own little minion. You can kill the orc, and I'll just have my own little adventure in the corner.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So I'm going to move into his space, which is the first part of my movement action. And then I'm going to attack him. So I test might, which means I draw 3, and I know that I've got I've got 2 successes, and I've got some fate. So 1 inspiration token, 3 successes, which means I do 7 hits. So apply 7 hits. That should kill him, which means he won't get to counter-attack. So remove the Orc Marauder. You or a nearby hero gain 1 inspiration. And it's like I said before, it's nearly always worth using an inspiration to kill an enemy group, because you get the inspiration back. So good. Good riddance. So that's the Orc ridded. Now I need to work out where I'm going to move to. I probably want to get that threat token off the board, so I'm going to move back towards it. Unfortunately, I can't get on the same space as it this turn, so...
I guess I'll try and move here and deal with this threat token then.
Yeah, because that just makes the search tokens don't affect the Doomsday track, just the threat tokens. And so do unexplored tiles, but not in easy mode. So this is the carrion birds again. So you're going to interact
Bloody
with them.
birds!
I know.
Bloody birds!
You simply spend some time doing nothing in particular until, bored, the birds leave. Discard the threat token. That's got to be the easiest thing you've ever done. You've basically bored something to death.
I mean, to be fair, I grew up on a chicken farm. Birds are idiots. They are easily just,
You do still have...
They will just wander off.
You do still have your other movement, so you could move back into one of the tiles with the
move
search
back
tokens
to here
in.
and do this search token.
That's probably the best thing to do. Right. So let's. Did you just move the search token off there?
Yeah.
You can't.
It's in the hole. Did you want it?
Well, you can't interact with it yet.
Oh.
So it probably needs to stay there. Yeah. Yeah. Just just the eagerness to scrape things off the board. Right. I think what we should do, we should hit the end turn, get set up for the next turn, and then probably end the stream, because we said we were only going to go for about an hour, and we're sort of an hour and 15 in. So
okie dokie.
We'll get to a point where we can save. So each hero takes 1 inspiration. I'm not quite capped yet, but I'm getting there. So the threat increases by 5 because there's still 1 threat token on here. So we've hit another one of these markers. An elderly crow perched in the shadow of a dying elm watches you with malicious intelligence. Its incessant cries grow louder and shriller until it erupts into flight and streaks over your head, followed by the cries of more dangerous foes. What have we got now? A goblin scout? That's not a dangerous foe. Goblin scout on which tile's that? This one there. And a pit goblin goes... Oh, in the tile that I'm standing in. Come on. The app hates me. Oh dear. I don't know what you're laughing at. You've got an orc hunter basically a couple of tiles away from you, and he's ranged, so...
I can outshoot him.
Probably. So each hero resets their deck and scouts 2. Oh, I've got 2 successes. And I definitely need to keep these successes so that I can use them to defeat all of the enemies that are around. So, mind you, the pit goblin that's next to me, that's in the same space as me, he's ranged as well. Not that that makes a lot of difference. He's only got... I can't tell what he's got until I click this button. So let's just have a look. So the pit goblin's got 5 health and 3 health and 2 armor, so he should be easy enough. The goblin scout has only got 3 health and 1 armor, so you can sneeze at it and it'll probably go down. The orc hunter next to you has 5 health and 1 armor, so you could kill it in a single turn. But
yeah, I'll have it.
We're sort of approximately halfway through the scenario now, because we're on the doomsday counters on 27 out of 64. So we're kind of getting there. But yeah, we've gone over an hour now, so I think that's probably a good place to pause up. If you're happy with that.
I need to hop over the road to the chip van and get me dinner.
Oh, chippy, yeah, sounds good. I've also have stuff that needs doing. So thanks everyone for watching. Hope you've enjoyed watching us play around with Journeys in Middle-earth. It is a game that I really do like. It's one of those games I never get very far in though, because we tend to play through 1 or 2 scenarios of the campaign, and then the dynamic of the gaming group changes, and you sort of can't continue and have to keep starting again. So hopefully one day I'll get right through to the end of one of the campaigns. But yeah, thanks very much. We'll have another stream soon. We're going to try and stream at least once a week if we can. So do keep your eye on our Discord. So we are discord.gg/DreamHarvest. You can follow us on social media and keep track of what we're doing on there. We're on Blue Sky, Twitter, Facebook, everywhere basically you can find us. Just look for Dream Harvest. So from me and from James, thank you very much.
Bye.
We'll see you next time. Yep, sorry James, go on.
Bye.
Bye.